Well, this morning I'm going to gather up something here for breakfast. Now, I try to eat very healthy whenever I can. Well, whenever I can, but most of the time. And about 15, 16 years ago, I had a health scare, and I went to the hospital, and so it was basically a minor heart attack. But I went to the hospital, and they showed me the chemistry when I was there, and everything was off the charts. And ever since then, I've lost a little over 100 pounds during my trying to get things right, and I've stopped eating some things, and I started eating better than I used to eat. And one of the things I do is I only eat one main meal a day. And usually that meal is healthy vegetables and some meats and things like that, but it's healthy food. And one of the things that I do like is fresh garden or greenhouse veggies. And I don't know if you saw my other videos, but I had some grow beds here that were full of beets. And as you can see, this one is empty. That's because little by little I've been taking beets out of here and taking them in the house and eating them. And boy, they are delicious. Let me bring the camera over here and show you what I mean as I pick out some good ones here. Okay, so here we are looking at the beets. Boy, these are great. They've really grown well. Now I had four grow beds like this. 4 grow beds here full of beets, and like I just said, I've used these up, and I've replanted something else in here. I can't remember what it is at the moment. And I've also got one beet plant that I planted 7 or 8 weeks ago. I don't remember how long ago, but it's coming up too. So let's see what we've got here. We'll pick out the very biggest ones. Now there's a nice one. Let's pull that guy out. There. Kind of get all the dirt off. And we'll put him over here. There's one. And let's look over here for another nice one. We'll pick the nice big ones first. And let's see. That's got a hole in it. Let's take that one out. Now that one has had some insect problems. But you know, you can still cut that up and cut those out, and still there's a lot of good veggie parts left. So we'll put that one over here too. And let's see. There's another one way back here. Let's grab that one. Okay. Shake the dirt off. Okay, now these 3 ought to be plenty for a meal for today and several days. But anyway, let's see now. Maybe there's a little one in here that we can pull out just to get it out of here. Let's see. Well, there aren't any little. Well, there's a fairly little one. We don't want to overdo it. I don't know. Let's take this one. That's not real little, but okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to prepare them mostly right here, and I'm going to do that on top of the composter. Let me take you over there and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, now as you can see, we've got this first beet here that's got the insect damage, and the rest of them are sitting over there where I can grab them, and then I've got my little basket here. And usually when you prepare beets like this, you do this over the in the sink in the kitchen or something, but I can do most of the mess right out here. See, what I'm going to do first is I will peel off the leaves. Now a lot of people eat those leaves, but we don't do it. And what I'm going to do is kind of collect them here, and then at the end these will go right in the compost bin. So first what we'll do is just kind of peel this, and let's see. we'll turn this way. Okay, so now I've got this peeled really well, and all I'll have to do is go into the kitchen later and just rinse this off. Now, except for the nasty part there. So what all you do with that is I'm gonna just dig that out, and it's not too hard to do. A little potato peeler like this. You just dig that out, and what you find is behind that is good beetroot. So, and you don't have to do this very often. I don't have to do this very often. It's just occasionally you'll find one of these beets that's been ravaged by insects, and I think that's kind of remarkable, because this year, as these were growing, we had an infestation of grasshoppers. And they were in here too, in the greenhouse, just tons and tons of grasshoppers. But with all those grasshoppers, they apparently don't really care for beets, I guess. And this is the only one that had any damage that I've pulled out of here so far. Okay, there we go. So this is good enough for now. And what I'll do is, when I get in the house and we'll have to cut these up to cook them, I'll just finish anything that's left in there. I'll finish taking that out of there. But you see right here now we've got a pile of junk, and I'll just let that pile up. Now let's go over here, and here's another one. This is a good sized one. And the first thing I'm going to do is go over here where I've got a little bit of water and kind of rinse off these roots a little bit, get some of the dirt off. Okay, so here we are. Look at that, isn't that just a nice beet there? Look, okay, so we'll take that and throw that off and put that in there, and we'll just do the same thing. This is going to be a lot easier because there's not a big insect hole here to deal with. So okay, so there we go. Now look how nice that looks. And so we take that in the house, cut it in half, and then we'll just slice it up into slices, and then we'll cook that in the microwave. Now I won't bother showing you the rest of these. Let me do 2 more, and then I'll get right back with you. Okay, we're finishing up the last one here, and here, let me just set this over here for just a minute. And we'll put that in there with it. And then all I do is I take the top off of my composter, carefully dump everything in there. That'll compost down nicely. Now we'll take this up into the house, and I'll show you how we prepare these and cook these. And I don't know, I just, these are the most delicious vegetables I think that out of all of them. These are my favorites because they taste so good, and they're so healthy for you. So let's take these up to the house, and I'll show you how generally we prepare these and how we cook them. Okay, so here's that little basket of beets that I just prepared. See, there they are. 4 of them. There's quite a bit, just 4 beets. I think in the store, I don't know where we're at now, you get this, it costs you $4, maybe even more than that for that many. So it's not a lot, but these are essentially free. First thing you do, of course, is wash these off. And I'll take these over to the sink here and wash them down. Rinse them off good. And then what I like to do is just cut one end off and the other end off, because there's a little bit of root material left there. And try not to make a mess, but as you can see, beets really bleed badly. So now, first thing is I'll just cut this in half. And now you've got, flat beets here to cut. So then you just cut them up. Okay, now these are thin enough slices that they'll cook really nicely. And what I use to cook them in is, this is just a, I don't know, a microwave-proof sandwich carrier or something. I bought these, there's like 6 or 10 of them in a pack over at a local store, and I don't know, like $5 or $6. But these work really good. So there we go, and drop them in there and spread them around. And you see they kind of spread out pretty good, don't they? Anyway, so now we do it with the rest of them like that. Okay. In there. Now this had a bad spot in it, so what I'm going to do is we'll just cut that off right now and put that in there. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you now how we deal with this one. Remember, it had the serious insect damage. And what I'm just going to do with this, it's really quite easy to deal with this, is I'm going to put it down and cut it in half just like the others. And then what you do is basically, if you don't like this, you can just cut this part out. It's quite easy to do. Let's do it this way. There we go. And cut that out and throw it in. And there's a little bit left here. There. So that's all cut out now. And I'll do the other one while I'm here. And there's a little bit left there. There we go. And as you can see, they're good as new. So let's rinse these off really good. Okay, and we'll rinse off the cutting board. And now we'll cut these up. This is how many we have, and this is a lot more than we usually put in one of these containers. And you can see it's just from 4 beets, and we've overflowed this one. I like to put about half this much, so I'm going to go down and get another container and divide this up so we can cook them in 2 batches. Now I'm going to try to divide this up roughly halvesies. And the reason is beets take a while to cook. I think that's about half and half. Beets take a while to cook. Have you ever cooked beets before, just on a regular stove? It takes a while before they're good and tender. So if you do this in the microwave oven, which is what I'm going to do, you can cook a batch like this in about 10 to 15 minutes. But you've got to take a little preparation first. First thing you do is you put a little bit of water in it. Now you don't need a lot. You just need like maybe 1/4 inch or something like that. Just enough to make sure that you're not going to run out of water when you're cooking them, because these will steam in the microwave. The water will get boiling and it'll steam the whole lot here of beets. So next thing I do is we get some olive oil, and I like olive oil. So what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a little bit of olive oil on the top here, and that really gives some good flavor, I think, and it's healthy too. And the next thing we do is put a little spice on this. Now we've got something called Harvest Blend seasoning here, and it says it's got I don't know what it's got. Here we go. It's got dehydrated onion, garlic, and a whole bunch of other stuff in it. So what I want to do is I sprinkle that in here. Yep. And then I put this Morton's seasoned salt, and it's got some other seasonings in it. And I'm kind of light on the salt there. And then what we do is we take this, put the lid on it, and over to the microwave oven. And we'll cook this for starters for 10 minutes. Now it's probably going to need a little bit more than that, but I don't like to overdo it. So what I'm going to do is just cook them for 10 minutes, and then We'll see how they are. If they're not tender enough, I'll cook them for a couple more minutes. So here we go. Now this is just on the normal cycle heat that the microwave just has. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes and show you how they look. Okay, that's 10 minutes, so let's carefully take this out. Uh-oh, looks like there's been a little splattering in there, see? A little bit of splattering in there. Usually it doesn't do that. Well, anyway, let's take them out and see how things are. Okay, after a little emergency cleanup, look at that. Good as new, not a speck. So I'll be okay. There we go. And just so you don't think I'm doing this open loop, I brought the supervisor in here, and she's going to see if these are cooked well enough yet. And it's 10 minutes, so what do you think?
I think they need about, I would say maybe another minute.
Okay, so we'll put them in maybe 2 minutes, because if you think they...
2 minutes, that wouldn't hurt.
Oh, see, this is the mess. This is the mess here that happens. And usually when I do it, it's really bad. Anyway, so I'm going to put these back in the microwave for, I'll go for 2 minutes. And then we'll see how they are.
Sounds good.
There, okay. Okay, now we've cooked it for 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Let's see how it is. See whether this is acceptable or not. Oh yeah, see that's hot, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, what do you think?
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Okay, then we'll go with that. Okay, that's properly cooked. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, now for the official taste test. Let's see. Okay, go ahead. What do you think? Mm-hmm. So they're good?
Very good, yeah. Delicious.
Okay, well that's what we want. Can try another one?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, one's enough. Okay. Well, now that it's been approved, we'll get the rest of it made. Okay, so let me get the scoop that I always use. And there it is. Now what I'm going to do here is you can see the rest of this. I've got some peas, these are frozen peas, and some ground beef that we made. Now this beef comes off our own land. We have some cattle that we graze on our land, and we have a neighbor that actually owns them, and he takes some of them to the butcher, and we get a share of that. So this is all, everything but the peas was actually grown and raised here. Now that I got that on there, now what I'm going to do now is put some of this juice on here. Put some of this juice. Now you go, well, what is this juice? Now what this is the drippings from cooking things like this. As a matter of fact, if I hold it up here, you might be able to see this, but you see there's water in there, and or there's liquid in there, and that's drippings off the beets. Well, sometimes we cook cauliflower and broccoli and other things, carrots, and the drippings, we save those, and we make kind of a gravy out of it, and works really good, and it's healthy too, and you don't waste the drippings because there's vitamins and minerals that get leached out into that when you're cooking. So there it is. And to get a little cheese, we'll put some cheese on top of this. And there we go. Now this is just what they call shaved cheese. We got this at Sam's Club, and I'm not really sure what kind of cheese it is, but it's good. It's pretty good cheese. Now, next thing we need to do is cover this up so I don't get into any trouble, and we'll put it in the microwave and cook it for, probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes. Okay, the plate is cooking, so now what I gotta go do is go out and get some sauerkraut. Now we make our own sauerkraut. It's pretty simple to do. But anyway, it's the reason we like it is it's full of probiotics. It's live probiotics, and it tastes really good too, and it's really simple to make. So I'll go out there and get some. Okay, so here's where we keep our sauerkraut. Now I can't scoop and film at the same time, but it's in this this little container here, and that's just red cabbage with some salt in it, and it works really good. So let me shut this off for a minute so I can scoop some out and put it on top of my little dinner there. Okay, it was done. So now take this out and look at all that melted cheese and all that sauce, and then this is the sauerkraut. So we'll take this out and pour it on the top here, and kind of spread that around a little bit, and there you go. Now that's breakfast. Doesn't get any better than that. So you got fresh beets, ground beef with meatballs, homemade sauerkraut, and well, these are frozen peas, but they'll work. But anyway, there it is. Absolutely delicious.